Hey everybody, it's Roscoe from the Hobbyist Den, and welcome to my second rant on Age of Sigmar, today's topic. Basically, I'm going to say it right now, Age of Sigmar sucks. For me anyways. One, I don't know when to play it with. Two, when it first came out, I played some test games for myself because my buddy sold his army and wasn't willing to try because there's no points to match anything. It's not hard to match it up. But even if I were to find someone to play Age of Sigmar with, it'd be fun, but at the same time it would still suck for me because it's 40k in the fantasy setting. Now I know there's a general's handbook out there that Games Workshop released to help add points or match play or whatever it was. I want to say I looked at it at the store, but I don't recall if I did. And even if I did, I've read enough up on it that I could take missions from 40k or this tabletop game or that tabletop game, incorporate it into Age of Sigmar, and play it that way with Age of Sigmar rules. It's not hard. Not hard at all. But overall, I think the game is meh. It literally is meh. Because you're taking what was second edition 40k at the time and fantasy something whatever into it. Like I have the full complete 8th edition with its two main expansions, Blood in the Badlands and Winds of Magic. They came out with some narrative campaign books or rule books. I didn't bother with those, and because they led up to what was Age of Sigmar. And at first, I was all for Age of Sigmar. I'm like, okay, they're simplifying things, great. They want to help push new things out, so when you buy a box, here's the rules with it. Great. But overall, the whole setup is just, why play it when I can play 40k? Because everyone's playing 40k that I know of now, and they don't bother with fantasy anymore. I'd like to get them into playing fantasy with me, but the will to do so just isn't there. So in the end, you got Age of Sigmar where you can set it up to be whatever you want, balance it however you want, take rules from other games, use them for missions and whatnot however you want, and nobody wants to play. Because there's no points. So that there for me is okay, you ruined the game for me, Games Workshop, because nobody wants to play this because there's no points to balance, or points for this. Overall, I think the game could be fun if I get someone to play with, but again, there's no willpower from anybody there, so the game is just sucky. It just is. People, if you want to comment below what you think, feel free to do so, but at the same time, it's like, it's not there for me. So I do have my 8th edition library to play 8th edition fantasy, because I like the whole medieval concept of here's troops marching in the battle, and your games would still only last an hour or two at 2,000 point armies. Whereas in 40k, at 2,000 point armies for 7th, 6th, and 5th edition, I don't know about 4th or 3rd, but you would be there for a whole afternoon and be like, okay, I gotta go cut the grass. Oh my god, I can't. Sun's gone down, the grass is all dewy. But with fantasy 8th edition, 7th, and 6th, you could just be done in 2 hours. Because that's just how the game played out. Excuse me. In Age of Sigmar, well, it's still in the same concept of fast battles, but you're playing 40k Fantasy Edition. That being all said, if you guys are watching, post what you think below. Feel free to badmouth me on how my opinion of Age of Sigmar isn't that great, but you know what? I don't care, because I still think Age of Sigmar sucks. You could send me a general's handbook for free, and I would still be like, it still sucks, because I don't have anybody to play with, and if I do get people to play with, it's still gonna suck, because it's 40k tactical play in the fantasy setting. Anyrate, guys, thanks for watching, and not sure what to do for my next video, because anything fantasy is just gone after this. That's it. So I guess we'll have some more 40k, and oh, there's also War Machine. Yeah, I got War Machine too. Do something on that next, or better yet, give you a Rant review on my 8th edition one when it comes in, which I can't wait. So stay